I rejoice exceedingly in all my tribulations. Homily by Saint Chrysostom, Bishop, on the second letter to the Corinthians. Again, Paul turns to speak of love, softening the harshness of his rebuke. For after convicting and reproaching them for not loving him as he had loved them, breaking away from his love and attaching themselves to troublemakers, he again takes the edge of the reproach by saying, "Open your hearts to us, that is, love us." He asks for a favor which will be no burden to them, but will be more profitable to the giver than to the receiver. And he did not use the word love, but said more appealingly, "Open your hearts to us." Who, he said, has cast us out of your minds, thrust us for your hearts? How is it that you feel constrained within us? For since he has said earlier, "You are restricted in your own affliction," he now declares himself more openly and says, "Open your hearts to us," thus once more drawing them toward him. For nothing so much wins love as the knowledge that one's lover desires most of all to be himself loved. For I said before, he tells them, that you are in our hearts to die together or to live together. This is love at its height. That even though in this favor he wishes both to die and to live with them. For you are in our hearts, not just somehow or other, but in the way I have said. It is possible to love and yet to draw back when danger threatens, but my love is not like that. I am filled with consolation. What consolation? That which comes from you, because you, being changed for the better, have consoled me by what you have done. It is natural for a lover both to complain that he is not loved in return and to fear that he may cause distress by complaining too much. Therefore, he says, "I am filled with consolation. I rejoice exceedingly." It is as if he said, "I was much grieved on your account, but you have made it up for me in full measure and given me comfort. For you have not only removed the cause for any grief, but filled me with a richer joy." Then he shows the greatness of that joy by saying, "Not only I rejoice exceedingly, but also the words which follow in all my tribulations. So great," he says, "was the delight that you gave me that it was not even dimmed by so much tribulation, but overcame by its strength and keenness all those sorrows which had invaded my heart and took away from me all awareness of them."